Hey everyone, welcome back to Body Bags. It's theme week. The theme this week is one that I picked, and that theme is it's not as bad as you think. So essentially, the idea here is to cover movies that get a lot of hate that really they don't deserve. So I decided, you know what? Fuck it. I'm starting strong. Halloween Ends. This movie gets a lot of hate from a lot of people. And is it justified? Let's find out. No, it's not. What this is a perfectly good Halloween movie. The only problem is it's not the greatest Michael Myers movie. And the problem is you've set up in the first two movies, that this is the swan song of Michael Myers. This is you want to see him go out in a blaze of glory sort of thing, and that's not what you get. I think one of the main problems with this movie, I've mentioned this before when I've reviewed it on my own channel and stuff, is elements of this movie should have been cut into the first two movies. So, for example, the whole Corey Cunningham thing. He should have been introduced in the 2018 or 2016 Halloween or whatever, the first of this trilogy. The events leading up to, the death of the kid and everything should have taken place during the first night, that Michael was loose. And then you could have had something where there's almost, where people have this, they've made this connection, even though there wasn't one, between maybe this guy's Michael Myers is out here killing people, and this guy's this kid ends up dead. It's maybe there's some connection there. You could have had that going through the first two movies, and it would have made for a much more interesting plot developments, let's just say that. And also, let's be honest, Corey Cunningham should have never run into Michael Myers. They should have been two separate killers working parallel, if you will. And then eventually maybe running into each other and Michael just having none of it. That being said, though, those are what you could have done to have made it better. However, take Michael Myers out of the picture. Don't think of Michael Myers' character in this as being Michael Myers. Just think he's some psycho killer. Take away all of your preconceived notions. Take away all of the history, and just look at this movie as a standalone, film. It's really effective. The idea of, essentially a kid being, due to an accident and just the nature of people being dicks, because that's what people are, pushing a kid beyond his limits, and then also think this kid also runs across a serial killer and starts to learn shit. That's a good, interesting story. The problem is, Michael's not really the one that should be, that story should be told about. Let's be honest. But I honestly think this is one of the strongest of this little trilogy. And what makes it work for me is, as I've gotten older, I've talked about this again on my own channel, I find I'm taking a real liking to the oddities in series. So, Halloween 3. I love Halloween 3. Friday 5. I'm a big fan of Friday 5. Nightmare 2. All these things which seem that they don't really fit. I'm finding as I get older, I find I have a real appreciation for. This falls into that camp. Now, like I said, is this the send-off that Michael Myers deserved? No. The ending of this is pretty much, it should have been Laurie versus Michael, and essentially Laurie kills Michael, and then she herself dies from the wounds that were inflicted by Michael. And it could just end the entire story like there. That's how this should have ended. You want to do the wood chipper thing, or the whatever that thing is. I think it's a wood chipper. You want to do that after the fact. You know what? I can get behind that. Like you want to make sure dude is dead completely, not coming back from this one. Yeah, but Laurie should have died with Michael. She should have died killing Michael. And that should have just been like the end of their story. This has some of the best effects in the little trilogy. I just gotta say, the scene in the radio station with the tongue is just, that is one of the greatest scenes. I saw that in the theater and I was just like, oh, hell yeah, I loved it. So yeah, does it make some missteps? Yes, it does. But does it deserve the hate that everyone gives it? No, it doesn't. I'd recommend this. If you saw this in the theater and you've never gone back, you know what? It's been a few years. Go back, give it another shot. But do this. Don't watch the first two. Don't watch Halloween before it. Don't watch, any others. Just watch it as a standalone film. Just put it in, and then just think to yourself. Like I said, just try in your mind to separate it from what we know. Separate it from Michael Myers. Instead of Michael Myers, you know what? This is Michael Jones, the serial killer. He wears a mask and everything, but that's as close as it gets. Try it like that. Because honestly, it's one of the most enjoyable, just standalone films in the series, and I really dig it. For a rating, honestly, I give this 9 out of 10. It's a lot better than people think. A lot of the problem with this also falls in that, the thing with this, I've also said before, is this is a direct homage to Halloween 3. I mean, you put this on, even the title credits come up in, the Halloween 3 font. It's so meta, it's not even funny. And, I think that's something that went over some people's heads. They just wanted the next part of the story. They didn't, it's obvious that the director was like, you know what? I'm gonna mess with people. So now, what we go from now is what do we do from now on? I mean, I've made my case as to why this is a good film. What we need is someone out there in YouTube land, someone who knows about, doing fan edits of movies. Do a fan edit of Halloween Ends. But do it in such a way that, like I said, do the entire trilogy if you want, but put the Corey Cunningham stuff in maybe the first movie. Layer stuff a bit differently so that it feels connected. That is, I guess, one of the things that does feel off about this. It does feel disconnected from the rest of the trilogy. But it is what it is. So there you go. Halloween Ends, 9 out of 10. Good movie. Give it another shot. You'll probably... You know what? I'm going to say you'll like it better now. Now that the anger has died down from not getting the Michael ending we deserved and everything, now that all that's kind of cooled down, maybe it's time to give it another shot. Just saying. So, that's it for me. See you next time.